My beloved child, come closer. Be still for a moment. Let your heart quiet down. Let the noise of the world fade just a little, because right now I am speaking to you, not to the crowd, not to everyone else, to you. Yes, you, the one listening with a tired heart, the one who has carried so much for so long, the one who wonders if anyone truly sees, understands, or remembers you. I see you. I have always seen you. And today I want you to hear this clearly, gently, and without fear. You are not forgotten, and you are not unprotected. There are moments in life when you feel small, when the years have passed faster than you expected, when your body feels weaker than before, your steps slower, your nights quieter. You may sit alone sometimes thinking about the past, about people you loved, hands you once held, voices that no longer call your name. You may ask yourself, did my life matter? Did I do enough? Did I choose right? My child, listen to me now. Every tear you cried mattered. Every act of love, even the ones no one thanked you for, mattered. Every prayer whispered in the dark reached my heart. I know the weight you carry. I know the silent fears you do not speak out loud. The fear of being a burden. The fear of being left behind. The fear that the world no longer needs you. But hear me clearly today. I still need you. I still walk with you. And I am watching over you more closely than you know. You see, there are some souls in this world that the storms try hardest to break. Not because they are weak, but because they are precious. Not because they are forgotten, but because they carry something sacred inside them. Faith that has endured, love that has been tested, humility that has been learned through pain. These are the ones I say quietly but firmly, this one I must protect. You may not feel strong. You may not feel important, but strength, my child, is not loud. Strength is waking up after a hard night. Strength is forgiving when it hurts. Strength is trusting me even when answers do not come quickly. And importance is not measured by how many people applaud you, but by how faithfully you have loved. I have watched you walk through seasons of joy and seasons of sorrow. I was there when you laughed freely, when your hands were busy and your days were full. I was also there when the house grew quieter, when your roles seemed to change, when you wondered what was left for you to do. You may think your best years are behind you, but I tell you this with love, your value has never faded. Do you remember how a parent watches over a child learning to walk? Even when the child stumbles, even when they fall, the parent does not look away. In the same way, I have watched every step of your life. When you fell, I was there. When you stood back up, I was there. When you did not have the strength to stand, I carried you, even if you did not realize it at the time. There were moments you thought you were alone, moments when prayers felt unanswered, moments when you felt invisible to the world. But my silence was never absence. Sometimes I was quiet because I was holding you so close that words were not needed. Sometimes I was quiet because I was protecting you from things you could not see. Yes, protecting you. Because there are battles you never had to fight, dangers you never faced, heartbreaks that never reached you, not because you were lucky, but because I stood in the way. I closed doors you wanted open. I allowed delays that frustrated you. I removed people you wished would stay. And now, looking back, you may begin to understand why. My child, this message is not by accident. You did not arrive here by chance. I am calling your attention because your heart needs rest, your spirit needs reassurance, and your soul needs truth. The world may rush past you, but I do not. I walk at your pace. I sit with you in your quiet moments. I listen when no one else does. You may feel that your voice is softer now, that your place has changed. But understand this, your prayers are powerful. Your presence carries wisdom. Your endurance speaks louder than you know. The faith you have carried through decades is a light to those who are younger, even if they do not say it out loud. I am not finished with you. As long as you breathe, there is purpose in you. Purpose does not always mean doing great things in the eyes of the world. Sometimes purpose is loving quietly. Sometimes it is trusting me through pain. Sometimes it is simply staying faithful when life is hard. And that, my child, is holy. So do not fear the passing of time. I exist outside of time. Your life is held safely in my hands, from your first breath to your last. And when your steps grow slower, my protection grows closer. When your strength feels small, my strength surrounds you. When your heart feels tired, my peace waits for you. Today I want you to rest in this truth. You are seen. You are loved. You are protected, not because of what you can still do, but because of who you are to me, my child. Stay with me now. Let your heart remain open. There is more I want to share with you. about the meaning of your journey, the quiet struggles you have faced, and the deep love that has never left your side. Do not rush away. Walk with me gently, step by step, as we continue this conversation together. Stay with me. Do not let your heart wander away. What I began to speak to you was not meant to stop, because your life itself has never been made of separate pieces. It has been one long journey, with joys and wounds woven together, and I have been present in every single moment. Now, let us go a little deeper together, gently, like walking slowly along a familiar path, remembering, understanding, and healing. You have lived long enough to know that life is not simple. When you were young, you believed that if you worked hard, loved well, and did what was right, everything would fall into place. And for a while it did. There were mornings filled with purpose, hands busy with responsibility, hearts full of hope. But then came the days that did not make sense. Loss arrived without warning. People changed. Promises were broken. Dreams were delayed or quietly taken away. And you learned something only time can teach, that the heart carries both light and shadow. I saw the nights when you lay awake, staring into the darkness, thinking about what you could have done differently. I heard the questions you never asked out loud. Why did this happen? Why did I try so hard and still fail? My child, these questions are not sins. They are the language of a searching heart. And every time you asked them, even in silence, I was listening. There were moments when you felt disappointment settle into your bones, when hope did not disappear but grew quiet, when faith felt less like joy and more like endurance. You still believed, but belief took effort. Prayer became shorter. Tears came more easily, and sometimes you wondered if I was disappointed in you for feeling this way. Hear me now, I was never disappointed in your honesty. Faith is not pretending everything is fine. Faith is bringing me your broken pieces and trusting me to hold them. When you were tired of being strong, I did not ask you to be stronger. I asked you to lean on me. When you felt confused, I did not demand perfect understanding. I invited you to keep walking with me, one step at a time. You have seen enough of life to know that people can hurt one another deeply, even without meaning to. Words spoken in anger, silences that last too long, love that fades, not because it was false, but because humans are fragile. You may still carry wounds from relationships that never healed properly, names that still stir emotion, faces that appear in memory when you least expect them. I know how heavy that can feel. But let me tell you something important. Those wounds did not make you weak. They made you tender. And tenderness, my child, is not a flaw. It is a sign that your heart remained open in a world that often teaches people to close theirs. You have also carried regret. Everyone who has lived long enough has. Decisions made too quickly. Opportunities missed. Words left unsaid. You may replay those moments in your mind, wishing you could go back. But I do not look at your life the way you do. I do not see a list of mistakes. I see a story of growth. I see lessons learned through pain. I see wisdom formed through hardship. Remember this, I can redeem what you cannot change. Nothing in your past is wasted when you place it in my hands. Even your failures became teachers. Even your losses shaped your compassion. Even your waiting strengthened your soul in ways you could not see at the time. There were seasons when you felt useful and needed, and seasons when you felt pushed aside. The world often values people for what they produce, not for who they are. And as your roles changed, you may have felt your worth shrinking. But your worth was never tied to your productivity. Your worth has always come from my love. I watched you care for others while neglecting yourself. I saw how often you put your needs last, how you stayed silent to keep peace, how you carried responsibilities that were heavy for your age. And even now, you may feel tired in a way that rest does not always fix. That tiredness is not failure. It is the sign of a life that has been lived fully. You may wonder why the road became harder instead of easier, why aches replaced energy, why goodbyes became more frequent than hellos. This is part of being human. But do not mistake change for abandonment. I am closer to you now than ever before. When the world feels uncertain, my presence becomes more gentle, more constant, more protective. I know there are days when you feel forgotten by people, when phone calls do not come, when visits are rare, when gratitude is assumed rather than spoken. Those moments can hurt deeply, but even when human voices are quiet, mine is not. I speak to you in the calm of the morning, in the stillness of evening, in the quiet strength that carries you through another day. My child, you have learned patience in ways the young cannot yet understand. You have learned that not every prayer is answered quickly, but every prayer is heard. You have learned that love is not always loud, but it is always real. You have learned that faith is sometimes simply choosing to trust me again tomorrow. And through all of this, every joy, every sorrow, every unanswered question, I have been forming something beautiful within you. A deep, steady faith. A heart that understands suffering. A soul that knows what truly matters. Stay with me. There is still more I want to speak into your heart. What you have carried for so long does not need to be carried alone anymore. Let us continue together gently as I speak words of comfort, hope, and strength into the days ahead. Remain with me. Let your heart rest in these words, because now I want to speak to you not only about what you have endured, but about the strength that has been growing quietly inside you all along. You may not see it clearly, but I do. And I want you to feel it now, like a warm light slowly filling your chest, steady and calm. You have come through more than you ever thought you could. There were days when simply getting out of bed felt like a victory. Days when your body felt heavy and your spirit felt even heavier. Yet you rose. You took one breath, then another. You kept going, not because it was easy, but because something within you refused to give up. That something was my presence in you. I know you sometimes compare yourself to who you used to be. You remember the energy you had, the speed at which you moved, the many roles you played. And now, when you look at yourself, you may feel smaller, quieter, less capable. But listen carefully, my child, you are not less, you are deeper. What once lived on the surface has settled into wisdom. What once rushed now understands patience. What once chased now rests in trust. I want you to know that every morning you wake up, even if your body aches, even if your heart feels tired, I am there with you. I am in the breath you take when you open your eyes. I am in the light that enters the room. I am in the quiet strength that helps you begin again. You are never starting the day alone. There are moments when fear tries to whisper to you. Fear of the future, fear of illness, fear of being dependent on others, fear of being forgotten. These fears can feel very real, especially when the night is long and the world is quiet. But when fear speaks, I want you to listen for my voice, softer but stronger, saying, "Do not be afraid. I am with you. You do not need to know what tomorrow will bring. You do not need to have every plan in place. You only need to take today as it comes, hand in hand with me. I have already walked into your future. Nothing there surprises me. Nothing there can separate you from my love. My child, you have prayed many prayers in your life. Some were answered clearly. Some were answered differently than you expected. And some are still resting in my timing. But I want you to understand this. No prayer you have ever spoken has been wasted. Even the prayers you thought were weak, even the ones spoken through tears, even the ones that were simply sighs, I heard them all. There are blessings surrounding you right now that you may overlook because they are quiet. The blessing of waking up. The blessing of memories that still live in your heart. The blessing of wisdom that only years can give. The blessing of a heart that still cares, still feels, still loves. These are not small gifts. They are treasures. You may feel that your life is narrowing, that your world has become smaller. But sometimes, my child, a smaller world allows deeper peace. When distractions fall away, what truly matters becomes clearer. Love, faith, kindness, trust. These are the things that remain long after everything else fades. I am proud of you. Yes, proud. Not because your life was perfect, but because you kept going. Because you chose love more often than bitterness. Because you forgave even when it was hard. Because you believed even when belief felt fragile. These choices, made quietly over many years, are precious to me. When you feel lonely, remember this. You are never alone in spirit. Even when no one is sitting beside you, I am closer than your own breath. Even when no one calls your name, I call you mine. Even when your hands feel empty, my hands are holding yours. I want you to speak to me freely. You do not need fancy words. You do not need long prayers. Talk to me the way you would talk to a loving parent who already knows your heart. Tell me what hurts. Tell me what you miss. Tell me what you are afraid of. I am not overwhelmed by your feelings. I welcome them. And when you are too tired to speak, rest. Let silence be your prayer. Let your breathing become trust. I understand you even then. There is still purpose in your days. Even now, your gentle presence matters. Your prayers matter. Your smile, your patience, your kindness. They touch lives in ways you may never fully see. Sometimes the greatest impact is made not by doing, but by being. So take courage, my child. You are not at the end of the road. You are walking a sacred path, one that leads deeper into my peace. Every step you take with trust brings you closer to rest, closer to joy, closer to me. Stay with me. In the next moments I will speak to you with honesty and love, guiding you gently toward what truly matters, so that your heart may remain safe, steady, and protected in the days to come. Stay close and listen carefully now, because what I speak next is spoken not to frighten you, but to guard your heart. Just as a loving father gently steadies a child near the edge of a steep path, I speak to guide you, to keep you safe, and to remind you of what truly matters as the days continue to unfold. You have learned many things through the years, but there is one lesson that must remain clear: not everything that asks for your attention deserves your heart. The world is loud. It pulls, it demands, it distracts. Even now, when your days are quieter, worries can still crowd your mind. Regrets from the past, fears about the future, voices that tell you that you are not enough, that your time is past, that you should be ashamed of what you did or did not do. My child, these voices do not come from me. Be careful what you allow to settle in your thoughts. What you dwell on quietly shapes how you feel deeply. If you feed fear, fear grows. If you replay bitterness, bitterness hardens the heart. If you cling to guilt, guilt steals peace. I do not want these things to weigh you down anymore. You were never meant to carry them alone. I warn you gently, do not let disappointment turn into resentment. Life did not unfold perfectly, but do not allow unmet expectations to close your heart. A closed heart becomes heavy. A guarded heart becomes tired. Keep your heart soft even when it has been hurt. Softness is not weakness, it is strength guided by trust. There may be people in your past, family, friends, even loved ones, whose actions wounded you deeply. Some may never say they are sorry. Some may never understand the pain they caused. Holding on to that pain will not change them, but it will burden you. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It does not mean pretending the hurt was small. It means placing the weight of judgment into my hands so your heart can rest. I also want to guide you away from despair. There will be days when your body reminds you of its limits, when your strength feels unreliable, when doctors' words sound heavy, when uncertainty sits beside you like an unwelcome guest. In those moments, do not surrender to hopelessness. Hope is not denial, it is trust placed in me beyond what you can see. Guard your spirit from voices that say your life no longer has meaning. That is a lie. Meaning does not expire with age. Your life carries value simply because it is yours, and because I breathe life into it each day. Even when your hands cannot do what they once did, your heart still has a voice. Even when your steps slow, your faith still speaks. Be mindful, too, of how you speak to yourself. You have lived in your own thoughts longer than anyone else. Do not become your own harsh judge. Speak gently to yourself as I speak gently to you. If you stumble, do not condemn yourself. If you forget something, do not shame yourself. If you feel tired, allow yourself rest without guilt. There is wisdom in knowing when to let go. Let go of the need to control what cannot be controlled. Let go of the belief that you must fix everything. Let go of the idea that asking for help is a burden. Receiving help is not failure, it is humility, and humility draws my grace close. I guide you now toward simplicity. Complexity exhausts the soul. You do not need to solve every problem. You do not need to understand every mystery. Focus on what is near and real. Love the people in front of you. Cherish the moments you are given and place the rest into my hands. I also caution you not to neglect your spirit. Just as your body needs nourishment, your soul needs quiet connection with me. Take moments to sit in stillness. Whisper my name. Breathe slowly. Let my peace wash over you. These moments strengthen you more than you realize. There may be times when you feel tempted to withdraw completely, to build walls around yourself so nothing can hurt you again. But isolation, though it may feel safe, can quietly steal joy. Allow love to reach you. Allow kindness to touch you. Even small connections can bring warmth back into the heart. Remember, what truly matters as the days go by, not possessions, not status, not unfinished tasks. What matters is love given and received. What matters is faith held quietly in the heart. What matters is trust, especially when the path ahead is not fully clear. My warning is simple and loving. Do not let fear, bitterness, or regret steal the peace I am offering you now. These things are heavy, and I never intended you to carry them into this season of your life. Stay grounded in truth. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are not unprotected. I am watching over you with care deeper than words. And as we continue, I want to draw everything together for you so your heart may rest fully and your spirit may feel secure, wrapped in my love as the journey continues. My precious child, come and rest here with me now. Let everything I have spoken settle gently into your heart, like warm light at the end of a long day. You have walked with me through memory, through reflection, through encouragement, and through guidance. Now I want to gather it all together and leave you with peace that stays, not just for this moment, but for the days ahead. You have lived a life that mattered. Not a life without pain, but a life shaped by love, endurance, and faith. Every step you took, even the uncertain ones, formed the person you are today, and that person is precious to me. You may look back and see moments you wish were different, but I look at you and see courage. I see patience learned through waiting. I see compassion born from suffering. These are treasures that do not fade with time. Remember this always: you are not walking toward emptiness. You are walking toward my presence. Each day brings you closer to me, not farther away. The years behind you were not lost, they were preparation. They taught you what truly lasts, they refined your heart. They softened you in ways only love and loss together can do. When the world feels uncertain, anchor yourself in this truth: my love for you does not change. It does not weaken with age. It does not depend on your strength. It does not grow tired of you. I loved you when you were young and full of dreams, and I love you now with the same depth and care, and I will love you beyond what you can imagine. You do not need to fear what lies ahead. The future is not a dark place when I am there, and I am already there, waiting for you with open arms. Whatever tomorrow holds, you will not face it alone. When your steps feel unsteady, I will steady you. When your voice feels small, I will hear you. When your heart feels tired, I will carry you. Let go now of what weighs you down. You have carried enough. Release the guilt you still hold. Release the anger that returns uninvited. Release the fear that whispers late at night. Place it all into my hands. I am strong enough to hold it and gentle enough to heal you. I want you to live the days you are given with peace, not rushed, not pressured, but present. Notice the small blessings, the quiet morning, the familiar sounds, the simple comforts. These are gifts. Receive them with gratitude. Gratitude opens the heart to joy even in ordinary moments. If loneliness visits you, remember this: you are never alone in spirit. Speak to me, sit with me. Let my presence be enough when human presence is limited. I am closer than you think, and I delight in being with you. You are protected, my child, not because life will be free of difficulty, but because nothing will touch you without passing through my hands first. I guard your heart. I watch over your nights. I walk beside you in your days. When the world feels harsh, my care remains gentle and sure. And when your journey feels heavy, remember that rest is not found in doing more, but in trusting more. Trust me with your worries. Trust me with your future. Trust me with yourself. I have never failed you, even in moments when it felt like I had. Carry this message with you. You are loved beyond measure, valued beyond words, and held more securely than you know. Let it comfort you when doubts arise. Let it strengthen you when fear appears. Let it guide you when the path feels unclear. As this moment comes to a close, do not think of it as an ending. Think of it as a pause, a quiet place where you can breathe and remember who you are and whose you are. Tomorrow and the days after, I will still be here, ready to speak to your heart again. So come back, my child. Return when your heart needs rest. Return when your spirit seeks reassurance. Return tomorrow and the next day, and whenever you feel the need to hear my voice again. I will be waiting for you, with the same love, the same protection, and the same gentle words. Always.